gentle pets of all ages, welcome back to another Rebel Scale video. I am very excited to present the worst, best starfighter from Jazzwares, I think, is what I'm going to call it. It is a very odd mix of multiple Z-95 Headhunters, but in my opinion, it is the best version of a Z-95 Headhunter I think I've ever seen. So I really quite like this thing. This is from Series 8. This is the rare version. Comes with a stand, which is very nice to see. Really like the coloring on it. The silver, the transparent blue canopy is really neat. I really like that. I'll show you the figure in a second. For features, it's got a pop-off panel on the front, which is really kind of neat, and a pop-off panel in the back, which is also really kind of neat. Not something that I really expected to see, but I'm glad they're not going with like firing missiles or something stupid like that. They're actual, like, and this one's kind of hard to get back on, by the way. Actually, like, good, solid play features, I think, that would appeal to kids or to people doing a diorama or something like that. And of course you have the landing gear on the bottom, and this landing gear is not stuck on like some of the X-Wings had. It actually feels just fine, so I like that. Everything seems lined up, like none of the thrusters have any issues. The laser cannons are lined up nicely with the wings. Overall, this is really nice. There's a little, and I'm not too sure what this is. I don't know if this is a screw covering. There's another one here. I think that's supposed to be a screw covering, because I don't see any screws anywhere else. So I'm guessing that that's a screw covering, but it is a separate piece that I wonder if, they're planning on doing a different version with some other feature. But it's probably just a covering for one of the screws. Anyway, what I was saying is this is a amalgamation of a couple of different Z-95s, because there's two standard, I guess, Z-95s. You've got the one from Legends, the Expanding Universe, from Heir to the Empire, which is this version. This was Micro Machines. This is Fantasy Flight. It has the four intakes, the four engine intakes, and four thrusters. Now on the Micro Machine, you can't really see the four thrusters, but it's supposed to have four thrusters. The laser cannons, at least in the comics, were on top of the wings, and the wings were squared off. This particular version, it also has added missile launchers on the underside, which I think is pretty cool. But this version from Fantasy Flight has more X-Wing looking wings that point inward or point forward a little bit, and the laser cannons are on the tips, which is kind of what you see here. You see these thinner wings that angle forward, and the laser cannons are on the tips. But then there is the Clone Wars Z-95 Headhunter, which is this, and these are roughly in scale, so you can see that there's a huge size difference between these two. This one has the little barnacle little tabs. I'm going to call these the Eurofighter tabs. Anybody who knows what the Eurofighter is, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Those little Eurofighter tabs on the wings, you've got, or on the nose, you've got the single thruster intakes, single thrusters on the backs, really fat wings, and then these little bitty laser cannons that I was never too big on. Granted, these only showed up in a couple of episodes in Clone Wars. They kind of replaced the V-19 Torrent, and then soon after you did not see these again. They were basically replaced with ARC 170s and the V-Wings. So they didn't appear very long in the series. But that's the Clone Wars Z-95. Now, I also have a larger Z-95 from Altaia. This one is much more similar in size. But this one's actually much smaller in scale, because again, this particular version is supposed to be very big. It's very large. again, very short, stubby laser cannons. The nose is very thin. Like, on both of these models, on the Clone Wars models, it is a very, very thin nose. So what Jazzwares did was they took what I would call the best design qualities of each one, and they added it. So you've got a long nose, but it's not thin. You have the little tabs, the little Eurofighter tabs on the end, but they're not quite the same as the Clone Wars. You've got single intakes. They're not as substantial, I guess, as the ones on the Clone Wars version, but they have a very unique style. They look really cool, I think. Single thrusters on the back that are long, elongated, not quite as beefy as what you got on the Clone Wars one. You've got a really cool rear section, which the way that it tapers, that's really kind of unique to me. I don't know where they came up with this design, but this entire area is just very well done, I think. And then you've got the laser cannons, single laser cannons, long laser cannons like on the classic expanded universe version, but on the edge of the wing. And then you've got wings that resemble more what you see with the Fantasy Flight version of the Z-95. So it's kind of a combination of a lot of different designs, and there's even more designs of the Z-95 out there. If you do a Google image search, there's tons of different designs because it wasn't really fleshed out that well. In the comics, the comics of Heir to the Empire basically made it look like this. That was about it. But honestly, was it Heir to the Empire? It wasn't Heir to the Empire. It was Jedi Search. That was probably where it first appeared. Don't quote me on that one. I'm forgetting where it first appeared. But anyway, the comic adaptations of that novel made it look more like this. Very blocky, very old, clanky. Clone Wars made it more aerodynamic, but a little stubby. I don't know. The Jazzwares version is just the best version of all of that. And it captures the detail. It looks really great. The only complaint I really have is this stupid little thumb tab right there. I understand having one right here for the panel. That doesn't bother me, but that thumb tab right there just looks really bad. I also, this is an aside, I don't know if they meant it to be this. That little black area right there in front of the canopy, that reminds me of something that I saw on a lot of World War II fighters, when like bare metal aluminum fighters, like the P-38 Lightning, the bare metal version would have areas painted in a dark olive drab color so that it wouldn't reflect light back into the cockpit. And I don't know if that's what they're modeling that after. That I don't know, but I really like that design. I think that's really cool. I mean, at least this version has that a little bit. So I can't remember if the actual Clone Wars model has that or not. I don't have the image with me right now, but I think that's a nice little add-on. And of course, you get the clone pilot Warthog with. And you're probably not going to be able to see this that well, but very, very detailed helmet with all of the little markings and stuff. Like I love that. I hate it that this is a rare because I would love to get several of these. But the pilot fits in there very nicely. Sits back there. The cockpit's actually pretty well detailed too. So really, this is one of the nicest mistakes, I guess you could say, that Jazzwares has made. Fantastic little ship, fantastic design. I don't really have any complaints apart from that thumb tab right there. But anyway, thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.